It's live.
It's live.
It's live. Man, it's been a while. Gary,
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. Look, man. Um, 1 week
It's been a
after the
while since the last
defeat.
one,
Yeah, 1 week since we got humiliated in Europe.
huh?
Hangover is over. We've recovered. Now
Yeah,
we
yeah.
review the season, I guess.
We'll review the season. Okay, before we go into anything a little technical, let's talk the season. Right? How did you think the season panned out? Do you think it was a success? Were you happy with the
Look,
season?
if we started the season, or we ended the season rather, and you told me that Manchester United will finish second behind City, and we finish ahead of Liverpool, I'd say, man, you're dreaming, right?
Yeah,
But we've done it, Chai. We've
we've done it.
qualified for Champions League, second season in a row.
Yeah,
We're there. Yeah, I've got an exciting show. I think this time we're
yeah,
going to be
dude.
talking about stats. It's going to be fun.
Well, my weakest area of analysis, I think. But
Oh,
regardless,
dude,
dude,
you're
I think
you're 100% like full on analytical.
mathematician. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, remember the graphs that we used to plot for drilling and stuff like that? I'll repeat this, I'll repeat that. But anyway, we're not talking oil and gas. We're talking football. We're talking Manchester United. We're talking how we fared this season. And we'd like to get the viewers' inputs. Thank you for whoever's joined. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne. I don't know how it is in Sydney, but
it's bloody freezing, man.
freezing,
Freezing.
man.
So yeah,
Like how Manchester United finished this season, the temperature kind of reflects the mood. But anyway,
yeah.
let's get started, right? Let's look at some key things we've kind of gone over. We did score a fair few goals this season.
Oh, dude, we've scored a lot of goals this year. Look at that. Look at that
Yeah,
chart there. City
probably.
83. Look, City were always going to
Well,
go and score a lot of goals, right?
that's right. That's right.
Um, I think I was just looking at the stats, Chai. I think last season they scored over 100 goals, Chai.
City.
100 goals.
Yeah, but dude, mind you, City had KDB injured for a while as well, right? And they had to rotate in and out. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, they have the reasons, but
we've got Bruno though.
uh,
Fernandez.
we'll get to that. But yeah, we did score a fair few goals. I think that way I can't complain this season. And
Yeah.
most of it. But here's the thing: if you take out the 9 from this, we
Mm,
probably again like we scored against Southampton,
yeah.
one
We'll be close
off
to Liverpool, right?
ridiculous. All right, we'd probably score less than last season,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
definitely.
Last season we scored 66 goals, right? You take out that Southampton one-off game. Uh, is there improvement? I don't know.
Look, we can debate this all day long. I think what Solskjaer's done is, being a striker, he's probably drilled into his team. The attacking play probably in the final third side. So
Yeah,
he's got his team well rounded. The strikers are scoring goals left, right, and center. So that side of things, I'm quite happy with. But what you'll see later on, Chai, the number of chances that we create per game, when you compare
yeah.
it with the likes of City, Liverpool, even Chelsea, we're so far behind the pecking order.
Oh,
And so for me, I
100%,
think
dude.
it's a bigger thing. But I mean, in terms of the goals we've scored, we've also
Yeah,
considered equal number of goals
yeah.
this
That's.
season,
I mean,
which is a bit.
somebody saying that we have a initial whatever throw shit and fire sort of a comment, and
Yeah.
Rudy's mentioned Bruno is nowhere near KDB. Well,
Uh,
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so let's not go there. um, but yeah, I mean, dude,
Look, 73 goals. Last year we scored 66, and the year before we scored 65 goals. So it's progression,
yeah,
all right. Um, and yeah, look, I had a look at City's second half of the season. Alone, they scored 53 goals, Chai.
I think post December they just became invincible.
They
City
became
City
so
were.
strong. Yeah,
I mean, they started slow, right?
that's
I think
insane.
Yeah, United and City had a late start to the season as well, didn't they? They didn't have like a legit preseason and stuff like that. Both the teams went in, a little rusty into the Premier League. I think at the start of the season. I think you could see this
Yeah,
in the performances as well. So basically, I don't. I mean, it's expected, but I mean, I'm
yeah.
happy.
Look,
I'm happy.
I'm
No
happy, man.
complaints.
I'm happy. Yeah, I think we've scored enough, and yeah, maybe we'll move on to the next slide. Okay,
Now, this is
so
what is very concerning
this
me, right?
this is the one that I wanted to really talk about, right? So let's look at each of the separate bars. So the gray
Mm,
one there, or teal, whichever color you want to call it, because I'm colorblind. The first bar on the very left,
yeah,
City have basically had 15.8 shots per target per game, right?
yeah,
That's on par with Liverpool at 16. Chelsea's a bit lower, but United,
yeah.
we had 13.8 chai. We've scored.
Dude, when you see, wait, let me ask you this. We've seen some really drabby games this season, right? We've been looking at them and saying, where we had like one shot on target for the entire half, United, right? Where is this 13 shots on goal coming from? Which is just surprising to see. It is pleasantly surprising, yes. But I mean, we're literally the lowest shots per game, even, only
In the top
Arsenal kind
four.
of in the top four. Yeah, we're the lowest,
Yeah.
which is,
Basically, and we've scored 73 goals this season. So what this basically tells me is that our strikers are so efficient that we're
uh,
pretty much converting each shot that they get and goal.
yeah.
We're so efficient.
Or we're getting a lot
Um,
of penalties, but that's it. Oh, we'll get there,
yeah.
but uh,
Well, we're putting the penalties away, right? I think we scored 10
yeah,
penalties, I think, this season,
yeah,
which was quite yeah, quite amazing for a stat.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, I
And
mean, it's
I mean, you can see that if you compare your shots per game versus shots on target, I think the ratio is better than City's, right? When you think about it
definitely,
overall.
yeah,
So they're getting 1 and 3 on target. We're probably a little less than that. We're probably 1 and 2.5 or something like that.
1.2 for
And coming back to that, yeah, coming back to your point on efficiency, I think yes, I believe we were better off. I think we were a little more clinical. I think Cavani being added in the team definitely given us a little more options. I must say. I
yeah.
think
And
it's
then
a
you look at
combination of all of that.
Rashford as well. He I think he scored 20 over goals, second season running. So
Yeah.
he's definitely contributed to a lot of the stats that we're showing over here.
Mm.
So yeah, it's I think as far as the strikers go, we're definitely punching above our weight, because you look at the
Yeah.
amount of shots that we get, on target
Yeah.
is, yeah, shots per game rather. It's nothing compared to what City are putting out. So efficiency side really good, but
Yeah.
basically it's telling me that we're not creating enough chances for our strikers.
Yeah. But think about our midfield as well. We have the
McFred's.
yeah, McFred's. But with what we had, I think we overperformed. I think at least attacking wise.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Really, really happy with the strikers. So, yeah, I think attacking side, we are set for now. Cavani signed
Mm.
another contract for another season. So, that's great. What we've got to really fix is the midfield, because we're not creating enough in the midfield position.
Mm.
But obviously, United being the club we are, we'll go and sign Jadon Sancho and, yeah, forget about the midfield altogether, right?
Now, I think this is the takeaway for me, right? What the fuck is going on?
Dude,
What the
it's
fuck
so
is going
jarring.
on? It's
We
just
are the lowest in the top eight, Chai, in terms of
uh,
goals scored inside a 6 yard box.
it's
So,
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So what this tells me, we either score penalties or we score worldies. There's nothing in between.
exactly, like we've got brilliant play. Bruno, right? Bruno's outside the box. He's constantly taking shots. He's
Yeah.
shooting. You know, I can't remember the stat when I checked the last time, but in terms of the shots off target versus shots on target, I think there was like 3-1
Yeah.
or something like that.
That's
It's
right.
ridiculous, right? So he's potentially contributing to a lot of the stats that we're showing here, because obviously we don't. We don't get
And
the ball
Pogba too,
enough to
huh?
our strikers. Yeah, I
And
mean
Pogba
Pogba
too. Pogba
to
likes a shot outside the box as well.
Pogba, Rashford, Bruno, and Cavani is the only one who will
Probably
will
the
get
poacher in the box, I guess.
he'll get the poacher. He might hit the ball in every now and then. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you look at the stat, it's it's shocking. I tell you.
It's
Uh,
point,
like I was
point
telling you,
seven,
right?
man.
Yeah, I was telling you about the stats that we had. It was
Yeah.
absolutely shocked.
And it's look, we're at par with the Liverpools and the cities and stuff like that outside of the box, which doesn't surprise me. I think the way we play with inside forwards and stuff like that, it's usually Rashford cutting in to create something that is low probability, if I may add. But yeah,
Yeah,
what
this kind of yeah. I was going to say it's kind of builds a narrative that we really
yeah,
need our midfield to yeah, pick up the game.
absolutely. And um look at that. So I think we've set aside a theme for the season. I think we started off when Ole you know came into charge. I think he was heavily reliant on using the pace of the forwards. I think that kind of kept uh, how do I put it? It's become like a standard at United, right? So
Mm.
as long as the teams push up, yes, we'll find space behind them, and then we'll attack and we'll score, and becomes all fun. But if people have a low block, and we've seen those games against, if it's many to bloody count. The last one was Fulham. I think was quite frustrating. Things like that. It's just look at this, dude. I mean, counter-attacking wise. So basically, we're on par with West Ham. West
Yeah, dude.
Ham.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no.
Uh,
Go. I mean,
I was going to say that the way our team is set up with a double pivot, you know, and then we've got Rashford, we've got Martial's been injured pretty much, but we've got Bruno,
yeah.
we've got Cavani, really
Mm,
fast players. Cavani maybe not so much, but we've got Dan James and all those guys.
yeah.
Solskjaer's really tried to build this counter-attacking style of play
Yeah.
because you play the double pivot who basically are there to
Yeah.
basically cushion off any attacks that come as a result of a counter attack coming our way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've got the pace up front to
Mm,
really go at the opposition. So I think it's not surprising to me. And the way when you look at United and the way they play,
yeah.
they we rely heavily on individuals to get us out of difficult situations. We
Yeah.
play counter attacking, we play with pace. So I'm really not surprised with this stat here. Yeah, but six
What is
goals.
6 goals?
It's
Yeah. I mean, it's how we've resigned to kind of. s- I think the players, the team is built around this style of play as well, right? I mean, two
yeah,
inside forwards, pacey replacements are pacey, Mason Greenwood, your Dan James, and stuff like that. It's just built for such kind of football. And if it is
yeah,
what defines Manchester United, yeah, but I mean, we need to have a plan B at some point, right?
yeah. Just go back to that slide again, Chai. So you look at City as well. They really play possession-based football, same like
Yeah.
Chelsea. Chelsea really, really compact.
Mm-hmm.
And Arsenal don't ever score
Arsenal.
goals, so that's another story. But it's quite jarring when you look at this. This stat basically tells me, United, the way we're set
Mm,
up to play basically like a mid-table team, a team that
correct.
plays on counter-attack. Whereas you look
Correct.
at the top half of the table, like City and
Yeah.
Chelsea and all that, you
Yeah.
know, typically, yeah, typically those teams will probably attack not from counter-attacks, but from actual possession. So it's quite
But
surprising.
Liverpool's pretty high as well, so I could somehow understand it to an
Yeah,
extent because it's a high press and they get the ball, Salah's running, the pacey wing backs. It's understandable, but we don't have pacey wing backs compared to Liverpool.
no.
We don't have the compactness in the midfield, right? And we don't have ball playing defenders, right? but
Yeah, we
yet
don't
we find
have
ourselves playing counter-attacking games, I guess, which is
we d- we don't have we don't have many ball playing players, unfortunately, Chai.
Pogba.
We rely on, we have Pogba. Van de Beek is there, but he hardly gets a chance to play. And I'll be interested to see how, if we do get Sancho, which is
Yeah,
what the papers are saying right now, that we're going to sign Sancho. I'd be
don't.
interested to see.
We've
The,
we've been through this
that's
entire
going to be a
transfer.
separate discussion altogether about Sancho. I'm like not even going to talk about it. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying that if we get Sancho, because he's
yeah.
not really a counter-attacking style of player, he's more, touch pass, 1-2, similar like Pogba, Van de Beek, and all that. So
For some
I
reason, I
just
see him fit better at Chelsea, to be honest, than
Chelsea, even
United.
City, dude.
Yeah, Chelsea and City. Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean,
I'm not even going to go into that
let's
because
not.
I've got.
Let's not. I think we still have PTSD from the last time we last time we almost signed Sancho. Sancho was in
Yeah.
United. Sancho was on a bloody train from
Yeah, Rohit's got a question. Is Pogba due for replacement? Look, man,
hip replacement,
he's got,
maybe, but
he's got, he's got. No, that's Cavani, I think. But anyway,
yeah,
look, Pogba has got one more
super
year on his
interesting.
contract.
Mm.
No one knows what's happening with him. We're still waiting to find out if he's going to sign a contract. If he doesn't, then
We'll probably have to let him go for free, huh? And I think
we'll
that's where it's
let him go
shaping
for
up to be
free.
as well, right?
Yeah. And who do we
Uh,
bring in? God knows.
oh well, dude. I think we should do something to keep him, and I really think we should keep him. Um,
Yeah.
I think it just adds a lot of quality. But I want to keep him only if he wants to stay. Now they're talking about some ridiculous money being offered to him as wages and stuff like that, and I just hope they don't go that route because it just defies. I mean, it doesn't defy what Manchester United is all about because that's exactly how we're trying to keep players. But Manchester United of the past, I guess.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
United and the things they decide to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the penalties. Bloody
Oh
hell.
yes.
What? Chelsea had the same amount of penalties. Nobody speaks a word about it. When it comes to United, suddenly we're bloody only scoring penalties. This is what I bloody hate.
Dude, you know what's okay? Scoring penalties is
Yeah.
one thing, but just look at the goals from set
Set
pieces.
pieces.
We got Harry Maguire, who was
Yeah.
probably one of the most prolific defenders in terms of scoring from set pieces, who has not scored even
Prolific
one
is
goal.
probably a
Dude,
little
but he
too
scored a few
much,
goals
right?
for England, right? In
Yeah,
the last
but
few
I think
the
it's
World
giving
Cup.
him a little too much credit. Do you think? Prolific? Well, Van Dijk may be prolific, but I guess giving him the prolific. Okay, never
Well, he had
mind.
a
Okay, I'll let it slip.
reputation. He had a
Yeah,
reputation. Okay, so
yeah,
like we bought him there for his heading ability in the box.
yeah.
Number one is he can't score from a header in the opposition box, and secondly, he can't even defend
Defend for them.
corners and all that. So I don't know why we actually got him in for, but he's there now. But it's quite surprising, when you look at the amount of goals,
How can
set pieces that we.
Arsenal score more from set pieces than we do? It's just, I
It's
mean,
crazy. It's
it's not like
crazy.
they have like okay. See, I understand if they have like really big defenders or Ibra sort of a striker. I can
Mm.
understand that because they'll get onto the set piece somehow or the other and head it in and stuff like that. Nor do these guys have like prime Beckham putting bloody goals in. Uh, I can't understand how Arsenal's bloody scoring 12 while we have seven. Seven. Our corners. The last time, oh, I can't even remember the last time we scored on corners.
I
When
can't, Chai. I really can't. I think McTominay maybe scored one from somewhere. Trying to recall. Like,
I think Maguire scored from corner. One of his first goals, I guess, for United was last season. That too, not even this season. It was when he scored against Chelsea. Remember? I think
yeah.
it was after the lockdowns and when the footballs had started up. I think that's when he'd scored with his head. But other than that,
Yeah.
man, we should do something to change that. But penalties,
Yeah.
well, penalties are penalties. I think it's a function of how I think there are skillful, I guess, players, and VAR's gotten something to do with it. I think it's become a little
But
soft.
okay,
So,
Chai, here's the
hmm,
thing, right, about penalties, right? What that basically tells me is that because you look at the other teams, right, they've not scored. Actually, I guess maybe one of the other stats we could look at is penalties won, which we don't have in
yeah,
this. But it's something that we could look at. But what I'm trying to say is that if you look at the penalties, yes, the number of penalties we scored,
yeah,
it's basically a function of how much movement we have in the opposition box.
yeah,
Because if our movement's really good, the opposition's trying
yeah,
to, obviously stop us from scoring a goal. There's a good
yeah.
chance that they're going to score, concede a penalty.
Hmm.
And so that basically is a stat that tells me that, our movement in the box is
Hmm.
pretty good. We are creating chances in the box.
Hmm.
And the opposition is obviously, they can't get a hold of,
Scrambling for,
yeah, they're scrambling for it.
yeah.
And, someone puts in a
But
wrong tackle and it's a penalty, right?
absolutely, I think one other thing that we, I mean, extension. Obviously, logic could
Mm.
define. I mean, you could break this argument in many number of ways, right? I think people are holding on to the ball a little too much in the penalty as well, right? That could also be a some sort of a function of what's going on.
Hello, sorry.
Yeah, I think you froze, man.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
So you're
What I was
saying
saying is
players
that,
are,
yeah, players are probably hogging the ball a little too much in the penalty as well. And then, I mean, are they looking for it? I have no idea, but it is what it is, and it is a stat. Nobody talks about Chelsea's fucking 10 penalties, and then there's suddenly, if it's United, then Fernandes and Penchester and stuff like that. But that's what I kind of find two faced.
yeah, that's it.
Now,
This one, Chai. So
this is interesting,
that's
dude. It's interesting because look, when you think about, what I like about this is typically you should, if you're a balanced team, then you should probably get 33% across the three, right? That's the only way you'll probably, I mean, to define it.
yeah.
So any
We are so
imbalance,
skewed on the left. We are
we're
so
so
skewed on the
skewed on
left.
the left,
Yeah,
and so is Arsenal for some reason. But let's not look at them.
yeah,
But I think it has something to do with Luke Shaw emerging. I think Pogba plays on the left hand side, so there's something to do with that. Rashford plays there eminently, so it's like, I mean, Rashford's pulling all the strings with Luke Shaw when he's on the left. So I think there's a bit
yeah,
of that going on. I think most of our counterattacks come from the left anyway, right?
yeah. And the fact that one of the interesting things as well, Chai, I think
Mm,
up to maybe mid of the season, we hardly had
mm.
any attacks down the right.
Yeah,
Right. I think Greenwood was probably cutting in a bit more. But I think what's happened is that since the emergence of Greenwood on the right, I
yeah.
think we've started to attack more from the right. I think Wan Bissaka has also started to carry the ball
Putting in
forward a
some
lot
crosses,
more,
yes.
putting in some crosses. So he's kind of helping there. I think he's been told to get in up a bit further up the pitch. So I think
Hmm.
that next season that 33% from the right flank might
Yeah.
be a bit higher.
With
But
what emergence of Jadon Sancho, you reckon?
Jaden Sancho. Let's see.
But how would he be any different from Mason Greenwood? I know he's better quality or maybe more mature. I fail to see what he'd bring that Mason Greenwood can't develop into, let's say.
Dude, they're different kinds of players, right? Greenwood is a striker. He's always going to gravitate towards the center. I mean,
Yeah.
that's his natural position. I think with
Mm.
Sancho is that he tends to he can cut in, but he tends to play the 1-2 with the fullback. So I think with Wan Bissaka or whoever we sign in, whether it's Trippier or
Trippier, that's
whoever,
also another
yeah,
name thrown.
whoever we sign, I think we will sort of play, 1-2s on that side, and maybe Trippier will, dart past Sancho, where Sancho can cut in. So I think we will see a bit more in terms of creativity on what comes from the right,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that moves Greenwood into the center where he really needs to be in.
Yeah.
Greenwood's a striker, and I want to see him develop his game in the middle of the park, and hopefully Cavani can kind of help him on that end.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, this is, I guess, okay. So before we go into the slide, guys, if you watched any of our videos, we've been screaming out about exactly what's been shown in these stats. Where is the difference? Why do we concede from set pieces, and why are we so poor in communicating within the back four?
Oh my God! Look at the stats, Chai. My God, from
It's,
open play, the amount
I
of
mean,
oh my God.
what's
Never
pissing me
okay.
off
Never
is just
mind the
enough.
open play. Look at the goals we concede from set pieces. 14
14,
goals. It is shocking.
14.
It is shocking.
We're double what City concedes, more than double, right? 2.2 times.
Yeah,
Bloody
we double the.
Arsenal's, we're three times Arsenal's, where you can. What is Arsenal doing?
I don't know, man. Arsenal,
What?
Arsenal doing Arsenal things. Tottenham don't
What?
even ask about it.
Well,
Tottenham can be happy that they did not concede from counter attack because
but
Jose has them drilled
Jose,
pretty well.
exactly. I mean, see, look, one thing, obviously, we won't get scored against through
Mm.
counterattacks. We won't because we have two holding midfielders and two bloody very deep defenders. So that I don't think will happen, right? Because we have McFred and Lindelof and Maguire sitting back. That I
Yeah,
don't think will happen. So we're okay. We can explain the four. What I can't fucking explain is the 14, right? The 14 is the bloody goals conceded here. It's now, I don't. Please correct me if the stat is wrong, but I think we've conceded probably, if not the most goals through set pieces in the entire league. Not only in the top eight, but I think we're
Y-
probably one of the worst performers in there as well.
yeah. I think we are second. Chai. I think the last time I checked the stat, Leeds considered
Yeah,
15.
yeah,
Leeds were the only team higher than us in terms of goal considered from set pieces. So, look. We've been harping on about defending set pieces. I made it clear that I think we need to hire a set piece coach, defensive set piece coach, because we obviously can't defend from set pieces. We need a
yeah,
player as well in there, a defender to partner up with Maguire.
yeah.
There's a whole lot of things that you can.
And god damn, change the bloody man marking. What are you doing? Uh,
It is shocking. And you know what's the funny thing, right? Every time we concede a goal and we do one of these videos, it's the same argument
Mistake.
again and again. It's the same thing we keep harping on. It's the positioning, not being strong enough to hit at the ball, not marking the person close enough. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's horrible.
It's a sad, sad stat. And you know what? This takes me back. You know when our defense was as frail before, during Sir Alex Ferguson's tenure, I think it was the point where Laurent Blanc used to be the center defender.
Mm,
And I think Roy Carroll was just coming into goals, right? I think there
mm,
was a part of time where I mean, even with Barthez, we had like a little bit of suspicion. He wasn't as good as Schmeichel, but I think the next one I think we bought was Barthez. I think there was a
yeah,
Barthez and Roy Carroll partnership. I think we were so frail in the back, and then we always seemed to concede. That's when he went and said, "Okay, you know what? Fuck all of
yeah,
this. I'm going to buy the Rio." Rio. I think he went and bought Rio first, and then
yeah. And Vidic
he
came over later.
transitioned until Vidage came along.
Yeah.
But before that, man, I haven't
And you
seen.
know what? The other thing is, Chai, we got in Carlos Quiroz, who
Yes.
became the assistant manager in 2003. He
Yeah.
really, he really set the team up well in terms of defending, and I think we
Yeah.
considered the least amount of goals that season, if I'm not wrong. So he was one of the
Dude.
key things as well, which kind of goes. We keep going on about the coaching staff and the quality of the coaching staff and what's needed for United. I think it's becoming clearer now that we need to. I mean, you
Hmm.
can't keep conceding goals like this, Chai. I mean,
I mean, they never
we're
learn,
at
right?
we potentially, all going well, will potentially, hopefully, challenge for top four or even the title next season if we can make the right signings. I know, like titles may be a bit far off, but at least top
Yeah.
four. And I think with Chelsea strengthening, with City strengthening, Liverpool, um, even Leicester. Look, it's going to be tough, and we
Yeah.
can't keep conceding goals like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And dude, this for me, I don't know which way to look at it, right? Please tell me. Please tell me, is it just plain we're slow starters? Okay, I can figure that. I can understand it. What is happening? Don't we? What doesn't fit the narrative here? Okay, we're counter-attacking squads, right? Okay, so if a team scored first, why do we then end up playing better the second half? It's always come up in those conversations, right? We had a fantastic second half. Why don't we start off games well? Why do we find ourselves in a situation and then build up from there? 31 points from losing situations. 31.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look, I think, how many times have we gone into these videos where we've said, the game is a game of two halves. First
Yeah,
half will play so shit, and
yeah,
then something will change in the second half, and then we'll come in and we'll get the win.
yeah.
And I think when you really look at it, Chai, it's 31 goals from losing position. That's astronomical.
That's
And
points,
I
huh?
think the thing that I always feel with United is that we're not coached, we don't have an attacking style of play. And so, the first half, no one knows what's happening. We go into the dugout,
Yeah,
the changing rooms, and then Solskjaer has a hair dryer moment with the players.
yeah,
Everyone comes out fired up, and then they go and get two or three goals. I think the thing is we are so reliant on individual brilliance, and this basically just sums it up for me.
yeah.
uh Concede, when we scored, you've got 31 points from losing positions.
But you know what? Let me actually tell you this, right? It's so weird if you actually break this down. Okay, let's say, for example, 10 of those games you've actually drawn and not won, right? So
Hmm.
you take out, you basically 10 games is 30 points. That's exactly what happens,
Hmm.
right? You're sitting, if you'd drawn all these games, we would have probably come up with ten points, right? So which is a
Hmm.
20 deduction from where we were. We
Hmm.
wouldn't be even in the top eight.
No.
That's what I'm worried about, right? So you, let's say you drew all these games, argument's sake, right?
Hmm.
You drew all these games, you get 10 points instead of 30. There's a difference of two. Now you basically whatever 20 points if you dock from our table, we find
Hmm.
ourselves nowhere, right? This is what I'm worried about.
You're absolutely right. And I think, look, we can say we finished second, we can say that we've got Champions League and all that, but end of the day, when you really look at it, we are so lucky to be in that position.
Of
And
course.
also, when you look at it, we are closer to Arsenal standard than we are to
Yep,
City standard. Honest to
absolutely.
God, we were
Hmm.
so lucky. We've got better players in Arsenal. We've
Yep,
got players who like the manager. So in terms of him getting a response to the players will
yeah,
respond a lot better to him.
yeah.
Uh, and yeah, we've got pace to play on the counter attack. So it's just crazy,
It's
Chai.
worrying. It's
Can we go
worrying,
into
right?
next season with similar kind of results? I don't know. Like, I think we've been so lucky this season.
been we've been bloody lucky. I think. Look, if Liverpool didn't have okay, they didn't have that many injuries. Okay, so let's be they had a few. Yes, I'll take it. But if Van Dijk wasn't injured, I think they would have probably been in a better frame of mind to tackle this season. I guess. In whichever shape or form you see it, they
Mm.
underperformed severely this season. We overperformed. Now, if their underperformance is going to get them three, and our we whether luck went our way or we overperformed or whatever finds ourselves in two, if we don't strengthen this summer, i'm I'm really scared for what will happen post this. I think we'll find ourselves mid-table, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could end up being, 10th, ninth. We could be closer to Arsenal, and I don't think
Hmm.
Sancho alone is going to be enough. We've got to
So
strengthen midfield, Chai. Like,
do we look at the names? Okay, anyway, so that's basically what we've come up with the stats. So what
yeah,
I'm going to do is I'm just going to bloody stop sharing, and then we'll come back to discussions of next steps and whatnot. But this is what
yeah.
worries me. You're right about the number of names that were thrown in the hat for United, right? Name one player we absolutely need in those names. I don't think we absolutely need a Sancho. I don't think we do. There was Varane talked about. We might need him. That's the only name that I think I'll feel a little more comfortable, hearing more rumors of. What are your thoughts?
I mean, look, we've got to okay, defense. Let's talk about defense. Okay, center back being very important.
Yeah,
Varane, who's running out of contract, they've
yeah,
quoted about 40 million for him. He wants to leave. He doesn't want to sign a contract, so
yeah,
he's up for grabs. And then
mm,
the stocks of Pau Torres from Villarreal. I don't.
mm,
I think he's okay, but I
mm.
probably wouldn't look at him. He's about 40 million again. Could potentially come in and be a starter for us. Who else have we got in Jules Koundé from
Yeah,
Sevilla?
yeah,
Again, not entirely convinced. He's still young, but he's got time to
yeah,
develop. That
sure.
one's a bit higher, about 60 million. So there's three players that have centre back, and then let's go into midfield. Number
Yep,
one, Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
Okay, 80 million, a bit high, but I think
Hmm.
he's a top player. He can come in, he'll fit in there perfectly, and most importantly, Chai, it'll get us out of this double pivot
Make Fred bullshit.
McFred BS that we keep playing, and
Yeah.
actually play some good football where we can actually control the midfield.
Hmm.
Declan Rice is one player that I think we should really look at signing.
Hmm.
Bissouma from Brighton, also a
Yeah.
very good player.
Hmm.
I don't rate him as high as Declan Rice, but I think he could do a job there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's names there. There's talks about Saul Niguez as well, right?
So,
I mean, I mean,
what? Yeah.
the thing
What?
is,
Why
we
aren't
win a
these priority then? Let's say, I know Kane's not going to happen, but there were talks about Kane. What? Yes, he'll definitely solve a problem, but if you're not going to feed the ball to him, he's not going to do shit, right? I mean,
this is the thing, Chai. Looking at the stats, we've been really
hmm,
really lucky to finish the season second. The
yeah,
amount of chances we've created have been subpar, to be
hmm,
to say the least. We don't create enough chances for our strikers because
yeah,
the midfield obviously is
it's
not
too
performing.
slow.
It's
It's
too
too
slow.
slow.
It's not performing. It's too defensive, and so
They
we're not
don't.
getting the ball
Hmm,
progression as much as we want to.
yeah,
Um, there's a lot of things that we need to fix. I think Sancho is a nice to have kind of thing.
yeah.
He's
Definitely
a
not a
cherry on
must-have
top of
though.
the
Yeah,
yeah, he's a cherry on top of the cake, right? We don't
yeah,
need Sancho just yet. We've got to
yeah.
figure out what we're going to do at our midfield. We've got to figure out what we're going to do with our defense.
Defense. Hmm.
We've got a lot of things to look at. And then what happens with
Yeah.
Henderson and De Gea? You know,
Oh,
this is we've
these problems keep. Thank God Romero left. I think he left finally. Uh, thank God for that. Why? Okay, Eric Bailly, they went and extended a contract for, and I know we're probably getting to the close of this discussions anyway, but I think we find ourselves extending contracts where we shouldn't. I think our wage bill is extremely high. There needs to be some structure to cut out the meat of that problem that we're having. Then we can try to strengthen. Where's the money coming from for all of these players, right? I would think we at least need 250 mil to kind of at least
mm,
get to a place where we can compete against City. Where is that 250 million coming from, right? Now, pounds or euros, I don't care. But what I'm trying to say is it'll probably be in that ballpark. Uh, there was,
Chai. We're talking about giving Juan Meta a 3-year contract.
oh my God, dude. Are you
Dude,
fucking
this is
serious? It's just,
disgusting. I don't understand this. We're trying to free wages so we can bring players in,
yeah.
and we are giving, Juan Meta, Matic, and all that contracts. I just look. We can go on
We'll
and
probably
talk
do a
about it
couple.
in
Yeah,
length.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll probably do it in a separate video. But
Yeah.
yeah, so look, all in all, quite happy that we finished second. A lot of
Yeah.
work to build on for next season. We've got to strengthen our team. We've got to get some good coaches in to coach the
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we do that, and then hopefully we get to a respectable league position next season. And
There are so many. You just said four hopes there. I don't know. At least one of the four I'll be happy with.
I think you can only hope and pray with United now.
Yeah.
If we sign Sancho, we're going to blow our budget on one player, and that's it. So
And that's
I
it.
don't know, man. I don't know.
Mm,
It's concerning, but I think we've got to be optimistic and hope for the best.
absolutely.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate all the comments, all your feedback. Let me know what you thought about United season as a whole. What do you think we did well? What do you think we could do better? And what are your hopes and aspirations for United next season?
And
So if you're
realistically,
new,
please let us know where you think we'll finish. That's probably the key question that I think I'd have.
exactly where do we finish? Yeah, so hit a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel if new. Until the next episode, this is Chai with Gary.